Rasa Ride Sharing Company ARASA.ca என்ற இணையதளத்துக்கு சென்று The Rasa Drivers App-னை டவுன்லோட் செய்து டிரைவர்ஸாக வேலை வாய்ப்பை பெறுங்கள். மாதாந்தம் $4000 வரை சம்பாதியுங்கள். வணிக நிறுவனங்கள் Rasa இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் மளிகை பொருட்கள் மற்றும் உணவுப் பொருட்களை விற்பதோடு வாடிக்கையாளர்களுக்கு டெலிவரி செய்யலாம். தமிழில் தகவல்களை அறியாளையுங்கள். GTA பற்றி 40 ஆண்டுகள் அறிந்து கொண்டவரும் வீடு விற்பனை துறை ஊடாக மக்களால் அறியப்பட்டவருமான சிவா பிள்ளை 416-854-0005 Taxi broker licensed by City of Toronto.
Recording in progress.
You can't put the magnet on it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Give some calendars. Even all traditional calendars, doesn't matter. So many houses, they have calendars. But in your marketing material, do something. Go there in the houses. Sit down and talk to them and ask for the business. Don't be shy to ask the business. If you are shy to ask the business, you are not going to get the business. Anything, you have to ask for it. If you don't ask, you don't get it. Sorry, guys. You should ask for the business. How are you going to ask for the business? Don't tell them, sell your house and buy the house from me. Ask them, give me referrals. Referrals are important. Ask your past client, are you satisfied with the work and doing it? Yes, David definitely says you are a best girl or boy, you are the best person. Okay, then refer me somebody. You had to ask me the referrals every month. Ask them when they visit the house. Go with some candies, definitely in your gift item, your marketing material plus the candies. Any age group people like the candies. You don't have to go with the $100 chocolates, just $5-6 chocolate boxes. Basic gift are enough. No need expensive gift. Just go there and give them. If you think they don't like the gift or anything, those kind of people, just give them restaurant tickets, the different level of clients. Okay. But meet them and give out the parties and give introduction parties, everything for the December. But mostly questions come for the December month. If somebody asks the listing, what can I do? December is a busy month. Can I tell them to wait until next spring? Never make a mistake. You need a sale today and you need a sale on January, February, March, April, spring, more sales. In that case, if somebody asks, can I list the property right now? Just the property right now. If somebody asking you, can I list the property on December 23rd? Why not? Everybody stay home. Don't think with the Christmas holidays, New Year holidays, you have to wait. Not at all. Until you make certain million in your bank, you celebrate holidays. I'm not saying don't celebrate holiday like a machine, but at the same time, your mind's supposed to say, I don't mind list the property on the December 23rd. Enjoy your holiday as well as balance your life. But enjoy your holidays as well as don't miss the business. Don't wait until if somebody asks, this is the December holiday season. Even after December 20th, I'm talking about. After December 20th, if somebody asks, don't think it's a holiday season. I had to wait until January comes. No, this is the best time. Why is the best time? All the houses are decorated. All the streets are decorated. People are home. Some people doesn't have a job because they close down the factories and close down certain places and they stay home. This is a time for them to look around the houses. Then why you want to miss a chance? You are a realtor. Just to work a little bit harder, enjoy the holiday and work harder. When the slow time from February, very heavy snow, you can go out to show the property, go vacation. We are self-employed people. We have to change around things in our own way. All right. Then holiday season is important. Sorry, guys. Holiday season is important. Don't miss out. Do your marketing. If you don't order the calendars, right time to order the calendars, or you are a little bit late, but still, known people go and order the calendars and visit. So I know some people, they order the calendars and put it in the mailbox and go to Canada Post and send it out. That doesn't work much. You can do that one, but visit. If we have 200 clients, at least visit 50 clients' houses. Sit down and drink coffee and ask for the business. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I like to thanks to Rafael Selva Kumar. I think he is here. Posting some good articles always in the Home Life website. He posted one article about Canada Revenue Agency flipping tax. Yes, he posted 11:04 p.m. I believe yesterday, last night, 11:04 p.m. CRA is challenging the real estate transaction ahead of anti-flipping rules. Thanks, Selva. You are always putting the landlord tenant cases and those one. This is education. Our Home Life Future Reality website supposedly educational one and the information one is a very good one. Okay, the whatever he posted, you guys going to read. The members. We will share the post in the social group as well as Home Life Future Reality number 2 group too. Okay, what does that mean? He posted, guys. Anti-flipping rules coming to effect of January 1st. There are the government of Canada did a few changes after the next election, a liberal promise, and they slowly implemented few things. Number one, foreign tax credit. Ontario increase of foreign tax credit. At the same time, government of Canada override everything and say freezing 2 years. Foreigners cannot buy the properties for 2 years starting from January 1st, 2023. Freezing 2 years. And what the government is doing, we giving more supply for more opportunity for the Canadians and buy and live. That's for the foreign tax credit. That's not the one Rafael posted. I come back to that one. Before that one, I'm telling this one. There are some changes coming in January 1st. Non-residents cannot buy the property from January 1st. If the real estate agent participate for that one, real estate agent and the real estate brokerages get additional $10,000 fine. Real estate agent get 10,000 fine and real estate brokerage get 10,000 fine if you participate to sell the property to the non-residents. 2 years time. What does that means is, for example, the builder is opening up. Why the real estate agent getting fined? This is the reason. For example, the builder is opening up. Builder saying the closing is going to be 2027. In that case, if you sign up the contract right now, the closing is going to be after 2 years. If you promote that to the non-resident, that's mean if the government find out, the brokerage and the office charge 10,000 if you are promoting that one, even though the closing may not come. The 2023 to 2021 non-resident cannot buy. That's a Kana. That 2023 January is only for the closing or the purchase sale agreement.
It's actually based on the purchase and sale agreement. So interestingly, on October 28th, OREA sent out an email to everyone, to all the agents, advising everyone about the new increases in the Ontario non-resident speculation tax. So see if you can take a look at that email, or we'll forward it from the office again to everyone. But one of the questions that they addressed here is, if my client who is subject to NRST purchased a property before October 25th, would they still pay the new 25% tax? So their answer is, transitional provisions as part of the increased tax include an exemption of the new rate of 25%. So in short, there's an exemption for the new rate of 25%.
Now your mic is off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
So in short, as long as the APS was signed on October 24th and prior, you will not, your clients will not be paying 25% tax.
Thank you, Kana. That's mean we are our assumption, purchase sale agreement signed before December 31st, even though non-resident, they're going to pay for the non-resident tax, but they can close it. But the vice versa, we have to think, if any new project or anything come up, if you sign up with the contract for the non-residents, if you bring it to me the office, I'm not going to take it. Please careful. Then 10,000 fine for you, 10,000 fine for the office. Anything you sign for the non-resident after January 1st. Whatever we sign, we can close it out. That's a non-resident tax. But Rafael Selvakumar post is different. This is a flipping tax credit. Thanks, Rafael again for the post. Okay. The reason that means, for example, starting of January 1st, if you buy the property, doesn't matter when is the purchase agreement or whatever happened. Whenever you sign the property, whenever you close the property, minimum 12 months, you have to keep it. If you, in order to qualifying for the primary residence status, the case is here. The case Rafael put it here. The person bought a property from 2011 and onwards. 2011 and onwards, 4 properties flipping. Please go and read that one. But the Government of Canada regulations showing that one, they rejected some properties. They are not considered as a primary residence status. If they don't consider primary residence status, there are 2 categories, under capital gain or business gain. That's based on the reporting how long you keep the house and what you did for the property. You kept it as a capital property, or you kept it as a inventory. If you kept the property as an inventory, that's coming under the business gain. If you rent out the property, the meaning if you bought the property and keep the property, not rent out anybody and selling it, that's a inventory, like a grocery stores, buying the bag of rice and selling it. That kind of thing. Inventory is a business profit, business income, 100% tax for the increased value. And the property rent out is going to be a capital gain property. But if not reported, even though capital gain property is not reported, they have a right to charge as a business gain. I'm not going too far. Our topic is not that today, but still is a good knowledge. Please read the case. But in summary, I'm coming up from January 1st. Flipping property law is there. That means if you buy the property, either you had to live for 1 year or else you had to rent it out for 1 year and sell. If you are selling it before that one, before 12 months, if you are selling it, that's coming under the flipping tax. I didn't read full article. I didn't prepare for that topic today. I don't want to give you any wrong information. If you sell it, how much the flipping comes? As for my concern, it's going to be business income, and not a capital gain. For that one, I can prepare it and have not prepare it. I can double check the right information before I give it to you guys for that one. We can do that one. Sorry, my screen is blocking few minutes. All right. Today, before we start the common one, we're going to go with the questions now. This week questions I have. It's not a real question, but I'm going through one of the RICO case. It's not going through one of the RICO case with one of the salesperson in our office. The clients complained to RICO, and we won the case. Kanna wrote the case and we won the case. They appeal it back again. Okay, for the multiple, there's one of the portion is a multiple representation. Whenever I am reading the offers, If office prepare the offers and give it to you for the confirmation of cooperation, if the clients come to you, what does that means, guys? You are listing the property and the clients is coming to you. That's called multiple representation. You have to look at the confirmation of representation and cross the lines as a number 2 as a multiple representation, and you have to ask the buyer and seller to initial the multiple representation. If not, that's a violation. That's mean even though the confirmation of cooperation places the same agent putting the name and he's signing it, and even in this RICO case, what we are preparing right now, he reduced his commission. He originally listed only 2.5% plus the office fees and reduced to 1.5. But at the same time, there is no multiple representation is there. If the RICO, I was reading it, I was worried that the agent didn't mark the multiple representation. That's the reason I was thinking to inform. At least now is 75 members are here out of 600 people. Your education, you have to learn. You like to come to the Zoom, you learn something. You guys are here, then I don't tell that to you. Please understand, we are in the real estate industry. We are in the valuable industry. Each and every products are minimum $500,000. Just one bedroom condo are $500,000. Please bring your knowledge up. Please read the forms and learn to understand, not only asking the client to sign here, sign there, and roughly, and you make the commission. That's a really wrong thing, guys. Please understand and learn what you are doing it. What is the representation? What is the multiple representation? What is the agency agreement you have to sign? What you can do, what you cannot do. These are the one is very, very, very important for us. Please. And the bank draft. You have to ask the client to get the bank draft. If you get the bank draft from your own account, what's the how you can going to define the case? The clients can simply go and say, I don't have even this happened to our office. The client doesn't have money for the deposit. How can you sell the property to him? That's been clearly showing you sold the property for the motivation of the commission. How are you going to stand yourself? No. Please tell the clients to get the draft. You can help the clients in case you need out of the picture. Okay, I'm not telling as a broker record. You cannot help the clients for the deposit. If you want to borrow the money from you, that has to be treated differently. But deposit supposed to come from the client's account, for the FinTrack purpose and so many other purpose. Again, multiple representation. If you are ending it, or even the same office, different agents come. That's even coming under the multiple representation. Please learn and understand. I'm not talking about the multiple representation only. Offer. I have 75 members here. How many of you never read all the offer clauses? If you think yourself, be honest. If you never read all the offer clauses and you ask them to sign only signing places, that's a criminal mistake you are doing it. Please read it today. Take the offer forms and read it today. And the lease forms, offer form, commercial forms, and understand the basic of real estate rather than going to the high level of the training. Please understand. Okay, the next question. One agent asked me, 24 hours close. Deposit has to deliver to the office in 24 hours. He asked me how many percentage. It's a good question. He asked me how many percentage this close is 24 hours. If no 24 hours, it's null and void. And can I list the property back to the market again? Answer is no. You can put anything you like to put it in the Schedule B, Schedule A, or anything. But there are some other regulations are overriding. Your schedule is only the information you are giving to the other portion. For example, contractual law. Contract law, HSL agreement is a contract law. Contract law is you are signing under seal. When you signing under seal, just Schedule B, you are putting it 24 hours, there is no deal. Yes and no answer. But that depends on the courts and depends on the judge. For example, you are putting in the Schedule B. The client might simply say, I don't read it. They ask me to initial it. I don't know. There's a clause is there. I don't have much English knowledge to do. More than anything else, this happened to my office with a big argument with another agent. We didn't get the deposit for 3 days. Then we sent the letter from the office. We didn't receive the commission for already past 24 hours, and look at the Schedule B. And we didn't get it for 72 hours already. We are terminating your transaction and we are going to go for it. You know what the agent did? They leave it a little bit far. He said, I have a draft. I already get the draft. I posted. The posting is one of the serious word in the real estate industry. Still, under the contract law, postal law is there. If somebody say, I got the draft and I courier it to your office and put in the Canada post to your office, you didn't get it. That doesn't mean I am in default. I already posted the postal stamp. If they prove it, if they don't get it, but they can say, oh, I posted, you lost it. I didn't post for the registered post. There's no word saying registered post. Guys, 24 hours close is there, but can go under the courts in a many different ways. Then don't ask me why we are putting it. Yes, we are putting it because we had to protect ourselves. There are so many clauses. That's the reason I said today we're going to talk about Schedule A and Schedule B and informing you the clauses are there. How validity for the clauses, that depends on the courts. How validity, that depends on the courts. But if you don't get the deposit, try to get the mutual release. Or else at least get the email transaction from both parties and the client is not continuing the transaction at minimum. But you cannot assume if you don't give the deposit, there's null and void. Many agents asked me, not this week, my client bought a property last week. It's a multiple offer. He doesn't want to give the deposit. He hiding from me. Okay, listen. Still, offer is valid. As I told you before, I don't have the case right now. Multiple offer. The purchaser bought the property and he didn't give the deposit check. The lawsuit came against him after 1.5 years. $140,000 or $180,000. The fine for the buyer. The penalties and fine for the buyer. Okay, guys, 24 hours close. The question the agent asked me, I told him to come to the Zoom. I don't know. There are 4 pages. I can't see everybody's name here. Answer is 24 hours close. We are putting for the protection. But at the same time, there are so many clauses we are putting for the protection, but that's dependent on the courts. But 90% of the agents and the clients, they follow whatever is there. 10% like to argue. If they argue, go to the courts. That's dependent on the courts and judge. The second thing, non-residence tax, I already covered. That's the question came, non-resident tax. Non-resident tax question came and the agent called me and asked me right now how many percentage non-resident tax under the federal side. Non-resident tax is 28%. Ontario government is 20% only. After October, I think it's 25th or 26th. The non-resident tax is 25% non-resident tax. Again, purchase and sale agreement right before that one, you can close the transaction. You're not going to suit. We already covered that part. Now we are moving. Anybody have any question to ask me before we go? There's a then the chat box. I'll come to the end.
Yes. Can I say something? This is Raphael.
Raphael, thank you so much again for the posting. You are doing a very good post, and I really value you this morning. That's the reason I mentioned your name as well as the topic. Please go ahead and give us some extra information.
I just pass it on whatever I get, so that for the benefit of our fellow agents.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about the deposit, right?
Yes, please.
See, on the purchase and sale agreement, when you do, there are 3 drop-down menus. So one is herewith, which is the deposit you give with the offer. One is the other one is one as otherwise mentioned in the agreement is there. So if you can't get the deposit within 24 hours from your buyer client, I think it's better to use that drop-down menu and then put on the schedule that you will give the deposit on Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that, so that you protect your buyer from default rather than using the standard drop-down menu. That way you're protected. Otherwise, the recent case laws are suggesting that if you don't deliver the deposit within 24 hours, you are in default. That's what is happening nowadays.
Thanks, Selva. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Basically, what Raphael is saying, please learn and understand what is there and how come you can make use of it. And the end, we had to make the sale. And the end, we had to close the transaction to get the commission. Whatever we are learning, everything, if you don't close the transaction, we don't get it. Learn to understand how you can protect the buyers to make use of it. Okay, I have other question also come to the chat box. I'm going to go to the chat box first and go to the regular training, guys. Okay, the first question. Can you able to read the first question, Kanda? The chat box. Okay, the last question here, the chat box. The client listed the property with another agent. The client listed the Amoeba sent them as a question. The client listed the property with another agent and now wants to list with another agent. What is the procedure? Okay, your question is not clear, Amoeba. The client listed the property with another agent with which company? Which company is important? Okay, that's fine. But you have to look at the purchase contract. Contract expired or not expired? The contract expired or the contract terminated by that particular salesperson on behalf of that particular brokerage. Just you go ahead and list the property, and they can move from any company to any company, any agent, doesn't matter, as long as the contract is not valid and contract is terminated. The next question: if we sell before 1 year, if losses can be directed losses, you are not allowed to sell it. That's basically. But if you sell losses, just there's a question, there's a tax question. But government argument, if you sell it, there's a penalty. In that case, if you are going to claim as a capital losses or business income, that category, Gary, yes, you can claim I don't make money, I lost money. In that case, I don't need to pay. But it's a penalty if you sell it less than 1 year. In that case, you end up paying the government as a penalty. Okay, we will discuss that as a separate class. I will look at all the tax act and tax law and come back to you for that one. Can you please clarify the 24 hours and weekend holidays on failing? Okay, our real estate transaction, everything counting for the banking days. Weekend and holidays, we don't count. Everything we count as a banking days. In this case, the client asked, here is the question is here, the 24 hours, how are we going to count the 24 hours? The regular days or banking days? We assuming it's a banking days, okay? Because everybody is fair. They're not going to real estate listing agent or anybody, the Ola want to make money. In that case, nobody is finding the mistake to cancel the deal. This is a fair ground when we are making the deal. Only way we can escape this one, we had explained to the client, you are making the contract, you had to pay the money in 1 year time. Okay, it's happened to us three months ago. One of the transaction, they have the money is locked in, and they can't able to get the draft. The client, the agent come and told me the same story. I told him, okay, send a copy of the locked in money, and the bank's asking few days, send the copy to the salesperson and the brokerage, and ask them to wait for a few days and send the amendment saying that one, like Rafael Selakumar said, the change, send the amendment saying that one within 3 days you're going to issue. The reason you are making the amendment, the bank need 3 days time to get the money from the lock. They accept, because real estate agent, we are in one side, other party in one side. We both parties are same boat. We both parties make a deal, and we both parties close the transaction to get the commission. Good questions today. Good questions today. We're going to go for this one now. Guys, I closing the chat box and come to you. All right. The message I sent today for you guys. The meeting is validity of the mortgage inspection and set a certificate and other important clauses. And the Schedule A and Schedule B, other important clauses. Okay, we're going to go through. Please come and ask me a question. I prefer more questions rather than what we are, but I prepare it and telling you guys. Please come out and ask me a question today. Today we start with a good question. There's a good question. I can say that capital losses and capital selling less. What are the penalties? I'll come back with the tax article answers with the next answers. But I have a strong feeling you are not supposed to sell it. If you are sell it, there's a percentage of the taxes you have to pay for the government. I'll come back with that question for starting of the next class. Okay. The important clauses. Important clauses we start with always for the Schedule A and Schedule B. The schedules can be anything, A, B, C, D, E. We can put any schedules based on the situation. Sometimes the Schedule A is the one, mostly the buyers. Not everything can be right in the purchase sale agreement. Used to be the long sheets agreement. We always write in everything in the same panel. After that one, we started to write as a schedules. Whatever we cannot write everything in the purchase sale agreement, the schedules are going to be the part of the agreement. Schedule A mostly for the buyers, whatever the conditions and everything clauses are going to be there. Schedule A. Schedule B, we keeping as a standard clause for the office. What is office policies and the procedures? We will talk about that one. What are the office policies, procedures like handling the money, deposit money, whether we are putting the deposit money in the trust account or there's no trust account. We no trust account. And our lease agreement, landlord want to keep some time. The major part for the schedule B, sometime all the rental and the lease agreements are taking over by the new purchaser. That's very important one. We'll come back and read one by one. I'm going to go through and Schedule C sometimes, Schedule C and Schedule D. Even sometimes I see Schedule E. Those are the ones comes any separate issues come. For example, if we want to put it in the rental property, if a multi-residence apartment you are selling it in the rent roll. Rent roll you want to inform as a Schedule C, the rent roll. And the power of sale properties, the banks want to put the power of sale clauses are coming under the Schedule C or Schedule D. Anything we can do it, guys. But the only thing we had to put it in the offer. How many schedules we have? A, B, C, D. Banks wanted to see the before the mortgages, all the schedule, and they had to read everything. For example, you're going to say the tenant's going to continue to live there. That's going to be under the Schedule C as a separate forms you may attach. Bank wanted to see that one. Okay. I'm going to go through the basic today. Please stop me and ask me. Anyone come out and speak rather than you write in the chat box. You can do the chat box. That's very manners. You don't want to disturb everybody, but at the same time, if you come out and ask me a question, I appreciate that one too. Anything you can come out and ask me. Okay. For example, our schedule. The standard schedule is there. Balance of purchase price. That's a basic schedule. We always put. We had to put the schedule. Any offers. What we do, we are putting the balance of purchase price schedule. But that's mean we are telling them the purchase sale agreement. We are doing it. The last day, buyer cannot ask the seller, I don't have money to close. Can I borrow the money from you as a vendor take back mortgage or any other forms? That's everything is stopping from the very first simple clause saying that one, the balance of purchase price supposed to deliver to the sellers, either bank draft, the closing the transaction. Those are the basic one, but it's a very important one, the very first one. Okay, I'm going to go with the conditions right now. When we go with the conditions, again, we are lucky. Rafael also is in the system. He can tell us for the legal points. Anything is important. Okay, for example, first one I'm going to talk about the satisfactory financing side. The offer is conditional upon buyer arranging satisfactory financing within 5 days, excluding Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. One of the agents asked me how to count the deposit clause, but everything mostly we putting in the clauses saying that one, excluding Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays of acceptance of this offer. Otherwise, the offer shall become null and void, and deposit shall be returned to the buyer in full without interest. Because sometimes the deposit 200,000, 300,000 too. Yeah? Okay, the interest portion is there. The condition is included for the benefit of the buyer and may be waived at his or her option by notice in writing to the seller within the time period stated herein. Okay, this is a basic clause, very easy and very basic English standard clause we are putting in for the purchase sale agreement. If you ask me the validity, and we talk about the validity of this clause, yes, it's a clause is there, it's a conditional offer. But assume we are in the buyer side right now. Another company seller side. You are giving this off, you are giving the offer with the 5 days financing. And we are simply saying end of 5 days, to other person, other company and other salesperson and other seller. The financing is not going through. I'm sending the mutual release. Yes, 95% of the chance they take that one as a mutual release. There are 5 to 10% chances they will say, okay, you blocked our house for last 5 days, including the holidays, 7-8 days time. You blocked the house is not in the market. In that case, give me the proof. You apply for the courts. If the situation go to the courts and they don't take your mutual release. If they don't take the mutual release, they don't issue the commission. Sorry, they don't issue not the commission, sorry, deposit. I'm talking about the buyer side. You are on the buyer side. You are making the conditional offer, and the conditional offer say $50,000 condition or deposit you already gave them. After 5 days condition, you are saying I don't get the financing. I need the money back. You sending out the mutual release. It's not necessary. 100% is not necessary. Seller, other company and agent is different. Seller need to sign your mutual release. The seller refused to sign the mutual release. What we had to do, we had to take them to the courts. We had to take to the courts and we had to tell them the offer is conditional offer, financing condition, but the financing didn't go through. Then we asking the return deposit back. The seller is refused to give the deposit back. Understand? Okay. What happened to the court system? 90 to 95%, we don't have any problem. There are few sellers or few agents got mad with you, or else they may hold the deposit. But they have a right to ask you, even though we don't go to the courts. The other listing agent have the right to ask you, give me some proof. Give me the proof you apply for the mortgage. In that, and mortgage rejected. In that case, what you have to do, you have to get the letter from the mortgage broker where you applied. But some cases I went to the courts, the judge always asks, not one letter is not enough. You blocked somebody's house, seller's house for 8 days. You need to have at least one mortgage broker or one bank turned down. You need to have other one. But it's not necessary we had to have two. At least we had to get one, legitimate one, not the fake one, legitimate one from the banker to have saying that one mortgage applied and rejected. And the clause we are using it, guys. This is the one we are using it. This is the one we are continuing to use. Don't ask me why. This is the one we are using it. There are some municipalities, some different trap district. For example, I experienced many times, the time I was a salesperson, went to London, Ontario, and different areas, they don't take this clause. This clause, they always say is a very, okay, for example, I read the clause again. The offer is conditional upon buyer arranging satisfactory financing. Satisfactory to who? It's a question. What kind of percentage you want to put satisfactory? 100%? 5%? 10%? You blocking my house for 1 million house. You going with 10% down payment and you are not satisfied. The bank asking you 20% down payment. Why you block my house? There are so much argument. In this case, I experienced many times, many offers with London, Ontario, London board. They always cross it out and say they won't close. How many percentage financing? Less than how many percentage interest rate? Today, right now, is a fixed rate going up to 5.5 over 5%, high 6%. And if you were satisfactory only 4%, you're not going to get it. In that case, they put in writing everything. 10% financing and the amount of the financing. If, for example, if you are buying $1,100,000 down payment and the interest rate, what are the interest rate below, what are the interest rate? But Toronto Real Estate, we are not doing it, guys. But the reason I'm saying today teaching is clauses and the validity of the clauses. If you go to different jurisdiction, different board, if they refuse this kind of clauses, there is a reason they are rejecting. Okay. And the next one is an inspection. Mortgage clause is a very serious clause. Very serious clause. If you don't get the mortgage, you can't close a transaction. The next clause is an inspection clause. For example, you are going with the inspection clause. Inspection clause, the offer is conditional upon inspection of the subject property by the certified home inspector for the deficiencies that obtaining the report satisfactory to the buyer. We are putting the deficiencies. We are not using the word major deficiencies in our office. Purposely, we are not using the word only major deficiencies. But you have to understand the inspection clause, the buyer looking the property with you, you are going to the house one time or two times. you are seeing the houses. After you finish making the offer, you are putting the inspection close, and you are finding them come and say there's a tile broken in the front entrance. Come on, guys, that's you can see in your eyes. I'm talking to the agents, not the clients. Okay, you had to understand what's supposed to come for the inspection clause and what should not, including the inspection clause. Whatever you can see your physical eyes, very first day of showing, that's not supposed to come under the inspection clause. That's everybody can see it. If the house is a different condition, they had to mark it at a different level. If the crack in the window, you already seen it in advance. If you seen it in advance, how can you can ask the seller to change the window? He should have to change it before he list the property and keep that one. Whatever you cannot see it from your eyes, inspector, specialized certified home inspector coming and finding it. For example, you go to the basement, the moisture level, that's you cannot see the moisture level by your regular site. Experienced real estate agent, you can touch the wall and see where is the moisture level is there, but we don't go that far. We are not a deal breakers, but we don't want to go that level. But anyway, the inspector bringing the moisture meters and saying that when water level is there, maybe is a possibility of the water leakage or those kind of things. And the basement is a raised floor basement. Anything happen under the raised floor, that's coming under the inspection. Furnace coming under the inspection. The roof and the under roof condition come under the inspection. But the basic, the pipe is leaking, dropping the water. I've seen so many inspection report. Our agent doesn't understand and putting change the washer in the pipe, costing only $2 stuff. Please understand few things. Agent, you understand inspection is important. The client want to see the inspection, satisfied. But how you explain to the clients, make them understand the inspection is an inspection. Inspection is an inspection. House is not going to be 100%. Even brand new house, if you go to PDI mean pre-delivery inspection. How many times we went with the clients? Not 100%. When anything comes, always say, okay, apply for the title warranty. You can find a lot of things for the brand new houses under the pre-delivery inspection. Same thing, the regular resale houses. You are buying the 15 years old house. 15 years old house is going to be 15 years wear and tear is there. In that case, please agents, you agents understand inspection condition, what does that mean? Okay. The second thing, certified home inspector is important. If you go with the inspector, your uncle cannot come and do the inspection. You have to, because you are blocking somebody's house, you have to go with the certified home inspector. The seller have a right to ask the inspector, can you show your certification? Can you show your business card? And they can Google and say, you are not certified. I don't want to let you go inside. That's possible. Then before you find the inspector, please see whether the inspector is certified inspector or is a regular guy. But we are not a deal breakers, guys. Please, again, I understand we are real estate agent, but you have some due diligence for yourself. Second thing, many time agents putting only one clause rather than financing clause. He said, oh, my client is eligible for the financing. I'm only putting the inspection clause. Inspection clause is not a valid clause to get out from the transaction. Okay, for example, according to the courts, if you find the mistake in the inspection, if the seller not willing to accept the mistake and seller is accept the mistake and changing it, yes, the transaction still valid. This is the judge orders for the cases. You are putting the inspection clause, you are saying the end of the clause, this condition is not sole benefit of the buyer and may waive at his option by notice in writing to the seller for the time period. But at the same time, seller agreeing, okay, for example, you are going to the 15 years house and your inspector, he want to make money from the buyer. To buyer, he is saying this furnace is valid only for 15 years. The furnace can stop any minute, but the furnace is working condition. Seller doesn't need to change it. Seller saying, okay, the furnace is still working condition. You understand the house is 15 years old. I will pay you the insurance. I'll pay the insurance for 3 years insurance for the furnace. If anything break down, for the $100 per year for the insurance for the furnace, 3 years, any breakage come for the furnace, you can repair it. After that, you have to change because you are not buying the new house. That's valid for the courts. That's valid for the courts. If the furnace is old and the seller willing to pay for minimum 2 years insurance for the house, to the furnace works for another 2 years, the furnace condition doesn't come. There are a few things like that, guys. Yes, the roof is leaking. In that case, yes, the seller saying, okay, roof cost is $5,000. I pay you half because you're buying the old house. Those are the one is there. Understand the inspection nowadays we are going for without conditions anyway, crossing out and going anything. But today is a teaching lesson. I'm a teacher today. I'm teaching you as a to understand what are those. But the septic system, if you are buying the house with the septic system, make sure put a septic inspection. For example, then what we have to do? You have to rewrite the word. The offer is conditional upon of the subject property and the septic system by the certified inspector. But septic system, you may need to go another special inspectors to see the septic system. Or a septic system is a good one and they cleared and giving you the certification saying that when they cleared last year, house is only the 20 years old house. Then you can assume it's a good one. Or else if the house is 60 years old house, if you want to verify, that's up to you. You got to take the septic inspectors. There are specialized one from different areas. You have to do those one. You have to put in writing. Again, if you think septic, what else I can say? Water well, that's the inspector not going to do the water well. But you had to test it out, the water. And the circulation pipes and everything, just you can do it. And the same thing for the swimming pool, guys. If the swimming pool is there, you have to put a special clause. I come back to swimming pool clause a little bit later. And everything you have to put it in to protect your clients, as well as understand if we are going for 10 to 15, going for $50,000, $100,000 more, then you have to explain to the clients, not wasting time with the inspection and or as the clauses, and they had to buy it and they had to work for it. Okay, status certificate clause. Status certificate clause is one of the important clause for the property, maintenance property, as well as for the lane fees property. Sometimes the lane fees property, the lane fees only $50 and $60, and many of the agents forget to ask for the lane fees properties for the status certificate. The closing time get in trouble. Other side, for the information purpose, knowledge purpose, refinancing. If you are helping for the, that's not our job, guys, but I just telling you, come to my mind. If anybody refinancing the maintenance property or lane fees property, please tell the clients to apply for the status certificate. Otherwise, the lender is not going to give you the refinance. Again, come to the status certificate. Status certificate. What is status certificate means? There are some regulation for the smaller complex, less than 10 units. There, maybe the management is not going to be there, and some lane fees properties. Then one of the owner of the property, they doing it for volunteer basis, and there are some exception. But most of the maintenance properties, we go for the status certificate. In Ontario, the status certificate, they are giving the time frame for the companies, the property management for the status certificate, 10 days time. 10 days time to deliver to the person who apply. Okay, not only the seller, deliver to the person who apply. Okay, for example, status certificate is the history of the property, not the property, history of the complex as well as the property. For example, you are buying from one of the townhouse in Norton Park, 371 Norton Park. You buying the property number 10, 371 Norton Park. For example, they're giving the 371 Norton Park property. Sorry, guys, 371 Norton Park property details as well as that particular unit. And the status certificate going to tell us what is the reserve fund is there, who is the one responsible to replace the windows. Replace the windows is maintenance cost or the owner's cost, and the roof, who is the one replacing the roof. Sometimes lane fees property, you can see only removing the and the garbages. They are not responsible for anything. Everything going to be written in the status certificate. For example, you're buying the condo, 50 towns and a court condo, you're buying it. They're going to tell you whether the swimming pool condition right now, working condition or not working condition. During the pandemic, we closed the swimming pool and we planning to open back. We don't have a date, or we will have a date. If we open the swimming pool, what are the hours we can use it? Who can use the swimming pool? Owners or owners' relatives can use it or not? What are the reason? What are the time frame we can use the swimming pool? What are the time frame we can do the gym? I know many people say I bought the condo, they're paying the maintenance fees. I don't need to pay for the gym cost. $75, I can cut it off. Downtown Toronto, this happened to clients. And the pandemic reason, they closed the swimming pool, they closed the gym, then extra $100 we are paying for the gym. They want to sue it. A lot of things there. But before the clients buy, more than that one, pet, are they allow the pet? Just if they allow the pet, what are the pets they allow? How many dogs they can keep it? How many cats they can do it? Pet, snake also pet. Are they allowing the snake as a pet to keep it in the condo building? We saw it in the newspapers, but somebody keeping in the snake as a pet, and the snake went out from the cage. It's happened a few years ago in one of the condo in Kingston and Eglinton area, I believe. All this time I am saying, certificate, what you have to do after you closing the transaction, after you close the transaction, after the firm offer, either buyer agent or seller agent, or buyer or seller, of all peoples can apply to the status certificate. Again, after you sign the purchase sale agreement, that particular condo or townhouse, a seller or buyer agent or seller agent, anybody can apply to the management. Mostly it's the seller apply and give it to the buyer. But sometimes the multiple of us, the seller agent is lazy, or else he will take advantage. He can say, but buyer, you pay the $100 and apply yourself. That's the negotiation. But when you apply for the status certificate, they will ask you why you are applying. What's the purpose? Refinancing or the purchase sale agreement. If the purchase sale agreement there, after you apply it, the status certificate, they will who's the one paying it? Status certificate, to whom the status certificate issuing? The buyer's name. Some lawyers are very strict for the downtown Toronto. Good law firms, they will say status certificate is valid only issued to the buyer's name. Some agents ask me, I want to list the condo. Can I apply the status certificate and keep it? My answer is yes and no. Yes and no. But you can apply the status certificate and you can keep it for during the time frame. But during the time frame, less than 15 days before the listing, you are keeping it. But you have the status certificate. You want to give it to the status certificate to the salesperson and the buyer on the spot. Yes, but they have a right to refuse, the bank right to refuse, or other lawyer right to refuse. But in that case, they can go and apply it again, reapply it again. I never say don't apply to get it, but the valid one under the buyer's name after the sign the transaction. But if you are a salesperson, before you list the property, you are applying it. That's a good one. You can update yourself for the maintenance fees, for the cost of the heating cost, water heating cost and bill, who is the one paying? If they have a separate furnace system, that's and hot water tank is working the gas or the electric. Mostly the separate bill comes electric. Okay, and you can find out every little thing from the status certificate. Give it to the client and tell the client to go to the lawyers and review. You don't review. You are not a master to review those ones. Don't say I sold the condo 2 weeks ago. In that case, that's good. Your responsibility, give it to the buyer and go and check it out. The future problems, you can solve it. Okay. Status certificate clause. If we are working the buyer side, today I'm talking about assuming our side as a buyer side. If we are working the buyer side, status certificate clause is there. If you ask me, I have the status certificate clause. That's conditional upon the last part. Buyer may have waived or his option by the notice in writing to the seller with the time frame. But if there is no errors in the status certificate, maintenance fees remain the same. There is no errors. There is no lawsuit. There is no insurance claim, and everything's there. You cannot use the status certificate as a condition to get out of the transaction, because they don't need to give you the deposit. They can take it to the courts if you are misusing the condition to get out from the transaction. Okay, careful, learn, understand. As an agent, learn and understand. If you have a question, just please come and ask me questions about anything and the status certificate or anything. Okay. The next clause is an appraisal condition. We already seen the appraisal condition. Agent who started within 4 years time, 5 years time, 2017. After 2017, the non-resident issues come with Ontario. All three levels of government come for the non-resident issues and those kind of things in 2017. And so many changes we see in 2017. Market went down. That time we went through the appraisal as an issue. After that, market went up so much, double the time or triple the time, market went up and came back again. Nowadays, whoever wrote the sold the house in 2022, 2021, 2020 and 21 was the highest price. And even 2022, the January, February month, the market started to change March, after March, interest rate hikes. And what happened? The price of value came down lower. In that case, for example, the buyer have the rights to sue you to the court, saying that one, you didn't put the appraisal condition. Possible there. I seen one of the court case from our office. One of the doctor clients bought the property. One of the doctor clients, not now, I'm talking about 5 years ago. One of the doctor clients, they both are qualified doctors. They bought the property. They applied for the mortgage. Appraisal came very low. Not very low. Appraisal came around, the property value, I believe, is 3 million plus. The appraisal came to 300,000-400,000 lower. They informed RICO saying that we are professional. Yes, we know how to read English, but at the same time, we don't know what is appraisal terminology and appraisal condition. Something is existing, appraisal condition existing. In this case, the agent is liable for this particular mortgage. It didn't go through. Okay, for example, I'm telling you right now. Okay, but usually we don't put the appraisal condition. Why? If we have a financing condition, the financing condition 50% indirectly including the appraisal condition, because before you getting the firm financing in your hand, they had to send out the appraiser supposed to go and value the property and come back and issue before the full financing is approved. But what happening in our real market, mortgage broker saying, yes, I can do it. Credit is good, income is good. Yes, I can do it. And before the closing, 2 weeks ago, before the closing, they saying appraisal came out lower. Guys, appraisal condition is there. I'm not a deal breaker to tell you like a lawyers. Lawyers always tell you, careful, put everything. But I want to inform you, appraisal condition is existing. The offer is conditional upon buyer arranging the certified appraiser to appraise the property within 5 days. It's available, depends on the property. If the property is a custom-made property, the property is a different condition property. If you think the property value is higher than they listed, yes, you can put the appraisal condition rather than the regular standard offers. Okay. Second thing, another clause, buyer solicitor clause. Buyer solicitor clause is one of the important clause for if you are buying the multi-residence commercial. Even though you are selling the property with the older peoples and they don't understand English, any kind of situation, you don't put a financing inspection, they want to buy for cash, but the buyer solicitor clause, we need to use it in the you have to lose your logical sense. Each and every offers, each and every transaction are unique. What you can use it, what you cannot use it, I cannot tell you upfront right now. If you put all the clauses, sometimes you are protect yourself and you're never going to sell any houses. But at the same time, there is existing. If you think your client is picky and he may sue you one day or anything, just put up a solicitor clause. The offer is conditional upon approval of the terms here by the buyer solicitor reviewing the agreement of the purchase and sale related to the document within 5 business days. You save yourself. Commercial, just we must put that clause. We have to have the clause for the commercial transaction and the multi-resident transaction and the unique transaction buyer solicitor clause. But if you see you are dealing with the foreign buyers, now as I said, foreign buyers is stopping from the January 1st. But if you are dealing with anything shaky, if you feel the buyer or seller can come and sue you, you can use it, the buyer solicitor clause and seller solicitor clause. Those are existing. Protect yourself. That's what I'm saying. The next one is the pool clause, in-ground swimming pool. In-ground swimming pool, guys, is a kind of the tricky one. The buyers, you can see that during the pandemic, all this time means I want using the word all this time, knowingly use the word, since 95 and until now, until pandemic time, pool is one of the unique one. 90% of the people doesn't like the pool. 10% or 15% may like the pool. They want to buy the pool with the house with the pool. They want it. In Canada, I'm talking about Canada. I'm not talking about Florida or California. In Canada, the pool, because the winter seasons come, pool, they can use it only 3 months. My land is filled with the pool. I don't have a grass. I don't have any fruit trees rather than the pool. I can go to the pool in the swimming pool, paying $5, $6 and go to the community center for the pool. I don't need a pool. This is the most of the client trend for the 85 to 90% of the clients trend for the until the pandemic. After pandemic, so many things went opposite direction. After pandemic, pool one of the major part for the houses to sell. Pool, the house come with a swimming pool, selling much faster than other houses. Since that trend is continuing, because of the after pandemic, people cannot go out. They want to stay home, and if they want to stay home, usually they have 3 small kids. I assume 3 small kids in the house. What they can do if they have a pool, just at least 3-4 months, or else if it's a heated pool, they can go they can stretch it from May 1st to until end of October, a little bit more than 4 months. They can go to the pool and they can enjoy their life during the pandemic side. Then after the pandemic, houses come with the pool was very high demand. Same thing, the cottages, waterfront cottages, everything went very high increase after the pandemic. And the bigger houses with the land went bigger houses with the custom houses and everything went up different direction after the pandemic. I'm stick with the pool right now. I had to be in the I had to be in the topic. Okay, guys, if you are buying the pool for the winter time, you don't know the condition of the pool when you are buying the winter. Then the winter time pool is closed. Then when you are making the offer is closing in the January 25th, or you closing. When you open the pool in the April, you may find some surprises. In that case, if the deal is a multiple of a transaction, if the client is willing to spend some money when they open the pool, that's fine. Other than that, you have to put a condition saying that one pool, pool heaters, vacuum system in the pool, and the other condition, any leakages, if it is a salt water pool, there's a system and everything. You have to put a condition, even though the condition, this is my word, please understand, most of the condition doesn't survive after closing. Most of the condition doesn't survive after closing. Until the closing date, only the condition survive. But the swimming pool side, if the deal is the regular transaction and your buyer is a picky client and you want to put the condition saying that one, until you reopen the pool and you want to protect your clients and you buying the house in a different areas, just you can put certain clauses for the, especially swimming pool clause. You cannot verify the pool. But in this case, you cannot use this one for the roof. Even though roof covered by the winter, you cannot use this one for the roof, because you can go under the attic. You can go to the attic and you can see the pool, the roof condition. But the swimming pool, especially, you can put the until reopen for the 4 months time. The holding some money and some warranty and conditions survive even after the closing. Something like that, you can use it. We don't use it in a regular manner. I'm just telling you, as today is a teaching session. I'm telling you there are something is existing. That's my intention to say that one. The other one is a well water supply. Well water supply is tricky, guys. If you are dealing with the cottages, if you are dealing with the houses, well water is everywhere. Well water. Only the Toronto, the municipalities only know well water. Even 905 areas, Toronto 416 area, 905 area. Even you go to Oshawa, even 10 minutes drive north, there's no municipality. Municipality cannot afford. The houses are different distance. The houses give the pipelines for the capital cost is very high for the municipality. They will say you can have the own well. Everywhere in Canada we have the well water anyway. Only the people's are luxury for the living in the municipality area. In this case, if you are buying the well water, there are so many different wells. I explained that one, cottage transaction, waterfront cottages and everything. I did many times for the seminars. And okay, you have to check it out. You can take the water, and you have to give it out and free of charges. The municipalities can give you the water levels, and you have to tell the clients to call for the special peoples and having the filter system, how many different level of filter system they have. And there are some houses, the water coming from the lake, directly from the lake for the regular usage, as well as the tube well for the usage. And for example, Manitoulin Island, I've been there on the Manitoulin Island for 2 years ago. For the Manitoulin Island, the low water coming from the regular lake water. It's a cold water, regular lake water. But the lake water they are using for the putting the grasses and everything. They are pumping out the water. And the tube well is the one only using for the inside purposes. There are so many ways you can get the water well. Every houses are unique. The buyer is ready to buy that one. He should have a knowledge more than you. This is a statement, guys. Please understand this statement. If we are dealing as a realtor, you are dealing with the client. You don't need to know everything. If you don't need to know everything, don't be shy. If you don't need to know everything, that's not a crime. For example, the guy buying the pizza store, he should know how to make the pizza. Is not you. He should know where the client's going to come and buy the pizza from the store. He should know where the pizza store is located, is in the high school or else with the buildings. Then based on that one, he should make the high school, he should make the pizza for the lunchtime. The universities, he should make the pizza for the lunchtime and the dinner time or breakfast. You know what I mean? Same thing, every business people supposed to know. Same thing, residential real estate. If the buyer want to buy the residential waterfront cottages, he should know how to maintain the waterfront cottages for the water levels. And he should know the septic tank system as well as the water level, water well. You don't need to know much, but advise them to get the advice from the certified people. He cannot act innocent after 6 months. Oh, my water is become as a salt water or water taste is changing it. No, he is responsible for his own. Okay, get the disclosure. I understand some agents come and say, oh, this is my first deal, Selva, I'm selling the waterfront cottages. I don't know anything. Come on, guys. You don't need to know everything, but you introduce the client and say, I introduce the property to you. Everything else, your due diligence. Go and take the professionals and do it. You don't need to know one day gas station, one day waterfront cottage, one day pizza store, one day franchise restaurant. You are not a Bible. You are not a library to know everything. But tell the client supposed to know certain things. You don't say. You pretend you know. Tell them upfront. I don't know about much cottages. I introduce the property. You do your due diligence. That's enough. If you pretend and say, oh, the water is good, all season water, you will be in trouble. Okay, understand that part. If you don't know, that's fine. But introduce the property and tell them to call the professional and check it out. That's the way you have to handle professionally. And don't give any advice. Other GST advice, foreign tax credit advice, water water advice, septic advice, or anything. Tell them, okay, I'm a realtor, introduce the property to you. You had to do your own due diligence, call the professional and check it out. Good to have the knowledge, but you are not an advisor for the specialized advice for these clients. Okay. The next one, escape clause. Escape clause, sometime I told you this session I am keeping as a buyer side. Escape clause, the buyer want to buy it. And he put the listing. He already put the house to sell, the listing, but property didn't sell. So far, that's called, we put the condition saying that the offer is conditional upon sale of the buyer's property known as the property address, unless the buyer give the notice and deliver the seller not later than 6 p.m. on the date for the condition fulfilled. Has been the sale of the property condition we calling as an escape condition. We don't call as a completely sale of the property condition. It's an escape condition also. But at the same time, yes, it's possible if the transaction is slow. Your buyer is already list the property. They don't have a firm offer. You are showing the property. Just you can use that one, but the conditions are there. Okay, learn that one, especially if you need anything special. And after the condition, there are certain cases for the multiple of a transaction we are using as a clauses. For example, downtown condo, you go in there, only 3 years old condo, you don't have a status certificate, but you are putting a status certificate as a clause, saying that when you are not verifying and finding the mistake to get out from the transaction, but you need a status certificate before closing the transaction. For example, the status certificate, we are moving from the condition to clause. If required, the seller agreed to permit an appraisal from the appraisal clause. This one, not status certificate, but the same apply to everything. Appraisal you can put as a condition, or else you can put as a clause. Giving the permission, go to the appraiser and getting the appraisal report. Anything comes lower, doesn't matter. You can get out for the transaction, but it's a clause. Same thing the name changes. Name changes. You are buying the commercial property. I'm buying Selva Vettyvel and Vettyvel as an owners. But before closing the transaction, we want to do the name change. Name change under the corporate name assignment clause. That means you can put, I'm going to change it to myself. It's not really an assignment. This is called as one kind of assignment, but the owners is us. We're going to form the corporation and we're going to change this particular property, residential or commercial, to under the corporation. That's, we can put that clause, and you can buy it now. You don't need to open the corporation before you buy. You can buy it under your name and you can assign to the corporation, and you can specifically say, I'm assigned to my own corporation. Assignment is a big meaning. You can assign to anybody else, but at the same time, this is also called as assignment, but you assign to your own. And the survey clause. Survey is coming as a clause always. We don't put it as a condition. Survey clause, many agents call me. Even last week I talked about the survey. Survey is important or not important? In my side, survey is important. Don't think survey is not important. Survey is important, but at the same time, how important depend on each and every houses. Survey is important, but at the same time, the properties are coming under the freehold property. One of the standpoint for the freehold property is a survey. Survey going to show the lot. The boundary lines. Is there any easement comes? Easement means, for example, the drainage line is a basic easement come. The drainage lines for the properties, where's the drainage lines in your house? The back of the yard, there's a railway, there's a drainage line. Without drainage line, we can live. The water flow come if the rains. The drainage lines easement are very basic, but still the easement is there. That's going to show it in the surveys. Surveys are important, guys, but at the same time, there is no surveys. One of the agent called me last week and said, my buyer doesn't need the survey, but our office put it in the survey. The seller saying you can go to your warehouse and pull the survey. I said, there's a 50-50. Your buyer doesn't need the survey. Each and every houses are depend on where it's located. If the house is a corner house, yes, we talked about that one last week. The fence line and everything is important. And the land is a 2 acres, 3 acres land. We need to know the boundary lines are. If there is no survey, what are the survey going to do? The title insurance cover for certain part. But the house is located is less than 20 years, 25 years old properties. Most of the survey you can pull it from the cities or else no boundary line, protectyourboundaryline.com websites or anywhere else. But as far our surveys are closed, they always say we have to deliver the survey certain dates or within 7 days of the offer. Read that one. If you're putting the survey closed for 7 days of the acceptance of offer, don't forget. Don't forget, seller agent might forget until the closing date. And the last minute closing date, he's saying, I don't find it. You are putting the clause saying that within 7 days you have to give. Then get it from within 7 days. Read it. But say what is in the agreement, please. The new home warranty is one of the things we always put it in for some clauses, and the seller agreed to stop with the new home warranty, and buyer's lawyer need to be transferred. Get the seller new home warranty before the closing date, and read about the new home warranty and stuff. Again, the certificate clause. Even though you don't have a certificate, they're doing the multiple offers, and the transaction is a new condo. Even though you don't want to wait, I put it as a clause, and you put it as you don't put it as a condition, but you put as a clause saying that when seller agreed to provide the certificate as his own expenses to the buyer within 10 days of acceptance of the offer. That's a clause. Within 10 days, seller has to apply or seller's agent has to apply and give it to you. Then you can keep the certificate for the mortgage financing purpose. The end. That's not a clause. That's not a condition. You get out from the condition. Pet or swimming pool or anything, but at the same time, it's a clause. You need it and you're asking them, they had to get it. You need that one to close the transaction. And we can talk about so many other things when the take back mortgages close and so many other things, guys, when it's necessary. I'm going to go to the Schedule B right now. Under that's also I sent it out. You guys, Schedule B. In my site, Schedule B is very, very important. You guys read it. The reason there are new houses when they build, even though they're building the very expensive rate, very expensive prices they're asking for the clients, but at the same time they are doing some tricky things. They are doing it. Hot water tank, hot water, not the hot water tank, sometimes the tankless heater or even the hot water tank, the furnace and the air condition. They can come up with the mixed furnace and air condition as a HVAC system. That's work as both air condition and the heating system. Doesn't matter, can be anything. They are fancy item they are putting in, and You don't own that one. You don't own that one. They are giving out to the companies. They are subcontract to the companies. Even the builders, brand new house in Oshawa. We don't need to go too far. In Oshawa and so many other places I've seen it. What they're doing it. They are giving to the companies and they're putting the lien on it. They are putting the lien. It's a big lien. The lien is big. The lien is big time. Close to $20,000. Sometime I see into the hot water tankless hot water. If you put yourself only cost $3,000, $4,000 less than. And if you go to the Enbridge gas, they put $5,000, $6,000. There are some companies charging $8,000. And monthly fees is going to be very less. Why they want to give the monthly fees less? Then only $150, maybe $100, $150, they put it in for 25 years. 25 years or 20 years, you have to pay for it. That one, what they're putting in, the tricky part for the Schedule B, you have to read, please read other companies' Schedule B. Don't make a mistake. I know that some experienced real estate agent made mistake and went to the courts. Any rental item or lease item, the new buyer taking over from the seller. If they put that particular clause, any lease item or listing, any lease item or rental item, automatically taking over from the seller to the buyer, you have no choice. You have to take over the lease item. Those lease, there are few places. There are few places. If you have any lease item, they put it in the title. They put the lien on it. There are so many cases I've seen. There's no lien on it. They don't put the lien. Maybe the builder's lawyer's mistakes or anybody's mistake. They don't put the lien. If they don't put the lien, they're closing the transaction. There is no way. There is no way the real estate salesperson or there is no way the real buyers understand. Those are the item is belongs to the house. This can be lien anytime. And if you have a Schedule B, you're saying I bought the property and the purchase sale agreement you are putting in the hot water rental is on, the furnace is on and everything. But even the Schedule B saying taking over, the lease company simply say Schedule B showing you are take it over, you have to take it over, and you have to file the case from the purchase sale agreement. You have to go to the courts and you can file the case to the seller and claim the money. That's a separate topic, but you cannot get out from the lease transaction because Schedule B is there. What I am saying, guys, please, real estate agent, we are making money. Read and understand. Don't be hurry and get the lease print out from the other listing and ask them to sign without reading it. This is happening to our many real estate agents. Please read and understand what is in the Schedule B. Okay, mostly Schedule B's are, I would say, rather than the purchase and sale, leasing is more important. Leasing, we have more problem than the buy and sell. When it's come to the leasing side, the terms and conditions are there. All the terms and conditions works for the courts. That's depending on the judge and the court lawsuit. For example, under the lease condition, the Schedule B, we are putting in our offer. Tenant agrees no smoking will be allowed in the unit. You are putting the condition, the petition. In that case, the clan smoke, that's going to be under the landlord and tenant cases. This agreement, you can say I put it in. That doesn't mean you are completely violating. More than the tenant, more than the smoking, tenant agrees there's no pets will be allowed in the unit. Yes, they are putting it. They are initialing it. After they buy the unit, they are bringing the pets. This agreement is null and void, and the pets law and the pets rights is going to be more priority. Pets rights is going to be more priority than the lease whatever you sign. But we are protecting. That doesn't mean 100% landlord and tenants covered by this one. The next one, the tenants willing to agree to provide the landlord 10 post-sale debt checks. After sign the lease agreement, the client say, "No, you can't ask me the post-sale checks. That's an old system. I give you only the last month deposit. Even the first month deposit, I'm not going to give you right now. I will give you the first month deposit. The time I move in, I will transfer to the first month deposit. If you are putting first and last is a deposit for the office, many people follow, but some tenant doesn't follow. But we are putting the closest case. At least read and understand. You protecting yourself. Any court case come, you did that one, but landlord and tenants law may be override. Doesn't mean we don't need to put anything. Okay, we are read and understand. At least today, if you don't read all this time, if you are dealing with the tenants, print this one and read it, understand. And there's a clause we always put it in, insurance clause. The tenants has to get their own insurance. The tenant has to get their own insurance. There's a clause is there. Explain to them and get the tenant's insurance. Don't wait until anything happen. After that, when you go for the go and ask the tenant insurance. And we always putting the condition saying that one. The condition saying that one, the offer, the lease condition, this offer is the offer to lease conditional upon landlord satisfying themselves for 3 days. I know many agents fail to get the waiver and give it to the office. When we ask, the agent argue, I don't give the Schedule B to the other agent refused to sign because we already put the lease and everything. Many arguments come to the secretaries. They always blame the secretaries rather than they reading their own for whatever is in the clauses there, guys. That's the reason. Please read the clauses. And if you have any question, ask me. Otherwise, we have another 7-8 minutes to end this one. I can go through for the lease clauses. There are so many lease clauses. The property is rented property. You are putting the property for basement is rented. You are saying you need to have this one. You need to have a vacant position. You need to have vacant position. What do you have to do? You can say the buyer side. You can give the vacant position, and you can say before the closing the transaction, we will come and inspect the property. We'll come and inspect the property before closing the transaction and everything. And you can even give the disclosure saying that what you can put the disclosure in the Schedule A or Schedule C. You can give separate disclosure rather than together, saying that when the buyer is buying the property to move in the property and he is going to live there in the property, and please take this as a disclosure, and buyer uses seller please use as a disclosure, and give your tenants the buyer is going to move in and we need a vacant position. Okay, you are doing everything good. Before closing date, you are going there and looking the property, tenant doesn't move out. What is the thing? You think you can close the transaction, you don't close the transaction. According to the law, you have to close the transaction. Your purchase sale agreement showing. If not closing the transaction, what they're saying, you close the transaction and hold the money until the tenants move out. Hold the money until the tenants move out. If you don't to close the transaction, you're going to be liable not to close the transaction. Tenants moving out is coming under a different law. I know a few cases. The buyer closed the transaction and went to the house, and when the buyer see the tenant still living there, and buyer called, what the buyer did, called the real estate agent. He didn't pick up the call. I mean the seller's agent, and they called the police. Police came, and what they did, they gave the warning. They gave the warning to the new buyer. This kind of situation, don't call the police. Go to the courts and file the case. Don't call the police. The police doesn't have the right to kick out the tenants from their apartment, either basement or main floor apartments. They don't have the right to kick out. Then learn to understand. Bring more questions to ask me. For me, that's all for today. And we can meet again. And before I end, I want to give a reminder, guys. We are real estate agent. Our prospecting. Prospecting is the one give you more clients. More clients is the one going to give you more money. In that case, the best time to do the prospecting is right now. Give out to the past clients, future clients. Treat them nicely for the Christmas time. Spend some money. Allocate some money for your business. Money, whatever the money you make in real estate industry. Not me. I'm not telling the basic law saying that, but 20% of the money you make. At least 20% of the money you have to give back to your customers in a different way, as advertisement, promotions, as a gift and everything. Then only you can sustain the same level for next year. Then in that case, do spend some money and give the gift and everything. Ask. Open your mouth and ask for the business to the clients. That's the way you can do good for the next year. If you don't have any question, that's it. If anybody have a question, please come out and ask me. Otherwise, that's it today.
Salmana, quick question for you.
Very good, Malik. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Salmana. You're talking about the post-dated checks. So So once the client signed the documents, everything settled down, after 1 month, they pay the first and last month. Then after they said, oh, you know me, we have to spend another $60 to get the checks and everything. He said, okay, you trust me, everything. We have all the documents you given already. So we can leave it to let them to go, or we have to stick on whatever the posted checks we asked them earlier for the 10 posted checks.
I can understand. You are very nice and you are very good wording. You're very politely putting the good wording. I'm going to use this as a rough wording because I'm teaching it right now. The clients refuse to give the posted saying that when we are violating the law, I don't need to give the posted checks. I will transfer the money every first of the month. Yes, it's valid. It's valid. Yes. We are putting it as posted checks is important. Yes, we are asking the posted checks for the convenience of the landlord, but the tenant saying, I don't want to give the posted checks. This costs me money, as you said, your good word. But I will transfer the money every first of the month as an online transfer. Yes, it's valid. We can force them.
We can force them. Okay.
We can force them. No.
Okay. One more question, Silvana.
Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I split the basement into two parts, so one part is already rented out, I'm going to rent it out the other part. So I had
you're making the basement as a two different part.
Yes.
Two different part, you're renting out to two different people. So owner keeping one part and renting out one part.
No, two different people, totally two different people. I'm not going. So whoever is going to be keeping the by owner space. So if I say if I have to inform the other party already rent it out, I'm going to the new tenants coming to the other part of the basement, or I don't need to inform them.
If there's a door in the middle, okay, I'm going to go. This is a very, very serious question. Very serious question. Most of the time, the city of Toronto, saying that one, don't ask me, don't tell me. Don't ask me, don't tell me category for the basement, not legal basements. If the basement is non-conforming basement, okay, the basically saying I'm going back a little bit, Madhi. In the general understanding, the basement is important for the government, everybody, to stop the housing problem. Many of the immigrants are coming in. Many of them doesn't have a house. Many of the household owners that cannot be able to pay for the mortgages because of the mortgage increase rates and all this reason. In that case, the renting out the basement, government want to close the eyes. Government have the rights to go there each and every basement and they can check the house owners and say kick out the basement, but the people are going to be the street. There's more work for the government to give the shelter to the people. In that case, even though law saying basement, you cannot rent the basement, it's not a duplex, if not a basement rental only for the in-law apartments, and if not a legalized basement. If not a legalized basement, no need to be duplex, but it's not legalized, you cannot do it. But at the same time, as I said, don't ask me, don't tell me category the municipalities are behaving. But if we are renting the basement is one full basement, yes, anything's come, city doesn't, even though they're violating the city, with city going very easy saying that one, they can do, they don't ask them to leave, they can say they can't cook that particular basement and everything. Your question, they are going to make us a two separate basement in the house. If city comes, it's very serious action happened for many clients. You are renting out the basement to two different people. But my basic understanding, if it's a wall, straight wall is dividing both parties. You don't need to get a disclosure from two separate entrance, and the wall is separating. But the same entrance, they are going for separate. The same entrance, they are coming in the basement and going as a two different category. Just safety is there. Safety is there. Maybe one party carrying the drugs inside, and another party is the family people living there. And maybe if Raphael is in this group, he can tell you this answer much better than me. Raphael, are you still in this room? I think Madhi, he left. My common sense answer, rather than the legal answer, my common sense answer is good to have the disclosure with both peoples. If you have a 100% separate entrance, there's a middle wall is blocking for both peoples. Yes, in that case, you don't need to disclose. But sometime I seen the basement two separate part. Owner saying we are using that part and my relatives living that part and this and that. But I would say my common sense practice, just good to have the disclosure for the protection of the both peoples.
Both people. Okay. Thank you, Silvana.
Thank you for the questions, guys. I'm expecting many people to come and ask me question. Then only we can discuss more in the different area, different field. Thank you so much, guys. We can meet next Saturday. Again, the reminder. February 17th is our Home Life Award night. Award winners, we're going to call you. We was planning to send you the forms, or else we call you to get your permission to call you the stage and give you the award and everything. Award night only for the salespeople, not for the spouses or any other relatives, because of the sorry guys, because of the number of agents in our office. I wish we used to have, when the office was 300 agents, I used to have the Christmas party with the kids and Santa and everything, and we have it now. You know that over 600 agents. The cost is very high, only for the agents. If anybody want you to bring it in, you have to get the permission. We cannot come without permission for any. You cannot bring anybody without permission. And another thing, anybody want to come to the stage, we will ask you, mark your date. We will be in touch. Thank you so much. Bye now.
Rasa Ride Sharing Company ARASA.ca என்ற இணையதளத்துக்கு சென்று Rasa Drivers App-னை டவுன்லோட் செய்து டிரைவர்ஸாக வேலை வாய்ப்பை பெறுங்கள். மாதாந்தம் $4000 வரை சம்பாதியுங்கள். வணிக நிறுவனங்கள் Rasa இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் மளிகைப் பொருட்கள் மற்றும் உணவுப் பொருட்களை விற்பதோடு வாடிக்கையாளர்களுக்கு டெலிவரி செய்யலாம். தமிழில் தகவல்களை அறியாளையுங்கள். GTA பற்றி 40 ஆண்டுகள் அறிந்து கொண்டவரும் வீடு விற்பனை துறை ஊடாக மக்களால் அறியப்பட்டவருமான சிவா பிள்ளை. 416-854-0005. Taxi broker licensed by City of Toronto.